Have you ever wondered what fuels a genius mind? Is it simply innate talent, or could their daily habits, even their diets, play a crucial role? We often study the works and discoveries of history's greatest thinkers, but what about the food that sustained them? It's a fascinating journey into the plates and philosophies of brilliant individuals who chose a path less traveled in their time, a vegetarian diet. Was this choice a mere quirk, a matter of personal health, or did it stem from a deeper ethical and intellectual conviction? Let's explore the journals, letters, and profound quotes of these remarkable figures to understand why they turned away from the conventional fare of their day. Their reasoning might just surprise you and offer a new perspective on the connection between compassion, intellect, and what we choose to eat. One of the most luminous minds in history, Leonardo da Vinci, the quintessential Renaissance man, held a deep reverence for all living things. His notebooks are filled not only with incredible inventions and breathtaking art but also with a profound sensitivity towards the natural world. Giorgio Vasari, a contemporary biographer, noted that Leonardo showed immense love for animals, so much so that he would often buy caged birds from merchants just to set them free. This compassion wasn't just a passive sentiment, it directly informed his dietary choices. He is widely cited as having said, "The time will come when men such as I will look upon the murder of animals as they now look upon the murder of men." This powerful statement reveals an ethical framework far ahead of its time, one that placed the life of an animal on a moral continuum with human life. For Leonardo, the act of consuming another living creature was incompatible with his worldview, a worldview that saw interconnectedness and beauty in all forms of existence. His vegetarianism wasn't a footnote to his genius, it was an integral part of his philosophy, a daily practice of the same empathy and observational brilliance that allowed him to decode the mysteries of human anatomy and the flight of birds. Moving guilty conscience. This admission reveals a lifelong internal conflict between societal norms and his personal ethics. Einstein believed in a harmonious, interconnected universe, a concept that echoed in his scientific pursuits and his personal philosophy. He saw vegetarianism as a natural extension of this worldview. It is my view that the vegetarian manner of living, by its purely physical effect on the human temperament, would most beneficially influence the lot of mankind, he once stated. His reasoning was twofold. He saw the potential for improved human health and temperament, but more profoundly, he felt a moral imperative. In another correspondence, he expressed it clearly: nothing will benefit human health and increase the chances for survival of life on Earth as much as the evolution to a vegetarian diet. For Einstein, it was a logical step towards a more peaceful and evolved humanity, a choice that aligned his daily actions with his grand, unifying vision of the cosmos and our place within it. His eventual full commitment to the diet wasn't just a health choice made in old age, it was the final, decisive act in a lifetime of ethical contemplation. Another giant of intellectual history, the brilliant mathematician and philosopher Pythagoras, is often hailed as the father of Western vegetarianism. So strong was his influence that for centuries, vegetarian diets were simply referred to as Pythagorean. Living in the 6th century BCE, Pythagoras established a school in Croton, southern Italy, where a vegetarian diet was a cornerstone of his community's way of life. His reasons were deeply rooted in his spiritual and philosophical beliefs, particularly the doctrine of metempsychosis, or the transmigration of souls. Pythagoras taught that all living beings possessed a soul, and that these souls could be reincarnated into different forms, whether human or animal. To consume an animal, therefore, was a horrific act, akin to cannibalism, as one could be eating a creature housing the soul of a departed friend or ancestor. The Roman poet Ovid, in his masterpiece Metamorphoses, gives a powerful voice to Pythagorean philosophy. Alas, what a crime it is to stuff flesh into our own flesh, to fatten our greedy bodies by cramming in other bodies, to have one living creature fed by the death of another. This wasn't just about personal purity, it was about cosmic justice. Pythagoras believed that abstaining from animal flesh purified the soul and brought practitioners closer to a state of enlightenment. His diet was a spiritual discipline, a daily ritual that affirmed his belief in the sanctity and interconnectedness of all life, a principle that underpinned his entire mathematical and mystical worldview. Then there is the great Russian novelist Leo Tolstoy, a man whose literary works grappled with the deepest questions of human existence, faith, and morality. Later in his life, Tolstoy underwent a profound spiritual awakening, leading him to embrace a philosophy of nonviolent resistance and Christian anarchism. A vegetarian diet became an essential expression of this newfound conviction. He saw the slaughter of animals for food as a direct violation of the fundamental commandment to not kill. In his powerful essay, The First Step, Tolstoy vividly describes a visit to a slaughterhouse, an experience that solidified his commitment. He details the visceral horror of the scene, arguing that people would stop eating meat if they had to witness or perform the act of killing themselves. He wrote, "From the killing of an animal to the killing of a man is but a single step." For Tolstoy, compassion was not a divisible virtue, it had to be extended to all living creatures. He argued that a society that normalizes violence against animals becomes desensitized to violence in all its forms, paving the way for war and human cruelty. His vegetarianism was not a dietary preference but a profound ethical and social stance, an act of protest against a cycle of violence he believed was corrupting humanity's soul. It was a practical application of his deepest spiritual beliefs, an attempt to live a life of complete and consistent compassion. The brilliant inventor and futurist Nikola Tesla also held strong views on diet and ethics, aligning him with many of his genius predecessors. Tesla was driven by a vision of a better, more efficient, and more humane future for humanity. His work on alternating current and wireless energy was meant to uplift the world. This humanitarian impulse extended to his personal habits. He believed it was certainly preferable to raise vegetables, and I think, therefore, that vegetarianism is a commendable departure from the established barbarous habit. Tesla saw the consumption of meat as wanton and cruel and inefficient. From a practical standpoint, he argued that plant-based foods were a more economical and sustainable source of energy for the human population. He connected the diet to both moral and intellectual clarity. "It is a pity that we have to live on a planet that is not yet fully civilized," he lamented, linking the barbarous habit of meat-eating to a less evolved state of being. For Tesla, a vegetarian diet was simply the more logical, ethical, and forward-thinking choice. It was consistent with his life's work, to move humanity away from wasteful, destructive practices and towards a cleaner, more intelligent, and more compassionate existence. His diet was another component of his grand design for a better future. From Leonardo's reverence for life to Einstein's cosmic harmony, from Pythagoras' spiritual discipline to Tolstoy's radical compassion, a clear thread emerges. For these great minds, vegetarianism was rarely just about health. It was a conscious, intellectual, and ethical choice, born from the very same principles that fueled their groundbreaking work. They saw a disconnect between their pursuit of truth, beauty, and progress, and the act of causing harm to sentient beings. Their journals and writings show us that they applied their immense intellect not just to abstract problems, but to the everyday question of what it means to live a good and consistent life. They challenged the norms of their time, not out of eccentricity, but out of a deep-seated conviction that a truly advanced mind must be a compassionate one. Their choice was an affirmation of a more expansive empathy, a belief that our moral circle should include the creatures with whom we share this planet. Thank you for joining us on this historical and philosophical journey. The thoughts of these geniuses remind us that every choice, even what we put on our plate, can be an expression of our deepest values. If you found this exploration into the diets and ethics of great thinkers interesting, I invite you to subscribe to our channel, Be Kind Fair, for more content that connects history, philosophy, and compassion.